Welcome to a special Jace Media Music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud Jace contributor from across the pond. This is a special interview because Giles Lavery is joining us again. This is the first time I've spoken with him one-on-one. He is the frontman and singer for so many groups. We're going to start with Warlord, the most obvious one, and he's also got Alcatrazz. He's got Starr's Burning Starr. He's got Lavery Magler, and he's got Dragonsclaw. 5 groups, folks. So we've got so much to talk about, just about the music. He's also one of the leaders of Brave Words label, and we got to talk about the business of music. Also, he's just a really, really cool guy, and I'm also extremely excited because Warlord is going to be co-headlining a tour of North America with Onslaught. You folks from Jace Media know them as the UK Thrash Masters. Now, that tour will begin March 18th at the Hell's Heroes Festival in Texas, and it will take them all the way through April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to plug those dates on this interview show notes and later on. So Giles is going to tell us his approach to rock and roll vocals. He's going to tell us about his approach to what it takes to succeed in the business and what keeps him busy. And we're going to talk about some mutual acquaintances and just have a really great time and get to know the man a little bit more. It's also a very exciting time in the Warlord camp. The Lost Archangel and Free Spirit Soar are the 2 most recent albums released from the brilliant people at High Roller Records. And we're also going to talk about how Brave Words has acquired the back catalog of Warlord. So there's so much to discuss. This is also Warlord's first tour of the U.S. So this is a momentous occasion. Let's talk all about it. Let's get to it. Jace Media Music audiences worldwide, please welcome from Starr's Burning Starr, Lavery Magler, Alcatrazz, Dragonsclaw, and Warlord, Mr. Giles Lavery. All right. I'm joined by one of the hardest working vocalists in rock and metal today, Mr. Giles Lavery. How the hell are you?
I'm doing good, keeping busy as always. Just so many things going on. We're recording a new Alcatrazz record. We're getting ready for a Warlord tour with Onslaught of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I've just put out a disc called with a songwriting partner. We call that Lavery Magler, Giles Lavery and Thomas Magler. That's out now on Archie and Steel Records, and it's called Redemption Day. Anyone stateside who wants that can get that from Gary Schaefer at the Heavy Metal Museum. A lot of projects going on, a lot of stuff happening as usual.
Yeah.
I like to stay busy.
You do. Have you ever? And then I see you on social media, and sometimes you just let loose there, and sometimes you just need to let it out in another way. But do you feel like you do an ample job of letting your feelings out in your music, in your vocal approach?
Well, I mean, it depends what you call feelings, really. I mean, it's I don't write. I mean, if you mean lyrics, I don't really write about. I'm not Alanis Morissette. I'm not writing a whole bunch of like "What About Me" lyrics and all that kind of stuff. I prefer to kind of write things that are sort of stories or things that I've found interesting or something like that. I mean, the music and the lyrics are ultimately for everybody out there. It's not just going to be one big "What About Me."
Right.
There's a couple of little things here and there, but I'm not really, like I said, I'm not Alanis Morissette or whatever, where I'm going to, start getting into a whole lot of like personal stuff and lyrics. It's just not who I am. But, and I'm not that interesting, to be honest. So it would be a very short record, I suppose.
I bet you that's not true. I know you a little bit, and I would guess just on the little bit I've in the couple of interviews we've done over the years, I know that that's not true. You're being humble. But,
well, no, I mean, I'm busy, but that doesn't mean interesting. I mean, what I'm doing is interesting, but me as a person, I'm actually quite boring. So that's probably why I stay busy. So there we go. There you go.
So let's before we even talk Warlord for a minute. At the end of last year, you had, from what I can tell, a very successful run with Alcatrazz on tour with Girls School and our good friend, our mutual friend, David Reese. How did that go?
Yes, went great,
Yeah,
really good. We had fantastic audiences. We sold out a fair number of dates on that tour. The attendance and overall interest in the tour was really, really strong. It was great. I
yeah,
mean, because, these days you go out on tour and there's 5 other tours happening all at the same time. Um, it's very hard to no, I mean, it's all about timing. Sometimes, because I've done tours where it's like, okay, Richie Kotzen's playing the same night on the other side of town, and then like
right,
Judas Priest are here the night before, and Stryper are coming in tomorrow, and all that kind of affects your sales and your tickets and all that because people can only afford to go to like so many
right.
things, and and sometimes you have a little a lighter night because of that, and other times it's totally packed in spite of that. But no, this was a really good tour.
Good,
We were all just so happy. It was
good.
really good.
Because I spoke with David December, so just a couple of
Yeah,
months ago, I think right
yeah,
after the tour had ended,
yep.
and he had only good things to say.
No, it
And
was a
I
good
know,
tour.
yeah, and
Really
I
good
know
tour.
you guys are buds, right?
Yeah, 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 I get along with David really well.
Excellent. You know Andy Susamil too? You know him a little bit?
Oh, only by email. I don't
Okay,
know. I mean, from doing the record, I co-produced the last record, so,
right.
yeah, I mean, I know him. I've never met him in person, but I know him by email and such, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
Yeah,
He sent me a whole bunch of signed copies of his solo albums. I was already a fan, so it was
cool.
that was a few years ago. So that was like, Hanukkah in July that year. So that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
he's
Yeah, yeah,
excellent. And
that's cool.
let's talk. So we met a couple of years ago. I think actually it was because you were re-releasing Bangalore Choir. I think that's how we met. And
Yeah, we did like it was on Global Rock Records, which is
yes,
a subsidiary of Brave Words Records.
right,
Global Rock's our reissue kind of imprint for reissues,
exactly.
and we did On Target, Cadence, and Metaphor, the 3
Yes.
Bangalore at the time, the 3 Bangalore Choir albums, yeah.
Right, and I have that 3 CD collection, it's really
Oh,
cool.
cool,
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. I show it to David every single time I interview him.
That's awesome.
And then you did that demo collection too, which was cool. And
The On Target, yeah.
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 So you're really you're keeping the spirit of rock alive as a, behind the glass. And then in front of the mic, you helped to bring Warlord back to the forefront. How's things going with Warlord and our friend
Well,
Mark Zonder?
really good. I mean, we've been busy. I mean, we're getting offered a number, all number of different festivals and tours and events and all kinds of stuff. And it just seems like, we're spoiled for choice. I mean, every week there's a new offer for the band coming in, and most of it we say yes to, some we say no to. Just all depends on sort of what the proposal is, and some things work and some things don't. But
Yeah.
no, for the most part, we're very, very busy.
Excellent, because that was when we met, and from what I got a press release just a couple of weeks ago that says Brave Words Records has acquired the Warlord catalog. Makes sense to me. So
Mhm.
you have
Funny
the
that.
rights to all the Warlord music now, and now you get to, honor the past but take it into the future, right?
Well, I mean, the reissues have been handled in their physical form, CD
Mhm.
and vinyl, by High Roller
Oh
Records,
yeah, they're great.
for many, many years, and we have a great relationship with them. And they also release the new albums, like
Hmm.
the 3 recent releases we've done. But the back catalog is handled by High Roller. Digitally, it's now available through Brave Words Records.
Okay.
So that's the distinction there. And then, yeah, I mean, that's great to have a great team, my partners in crime there, Michael and Brian and Tim, behind. I mean, Michael just does the best job. He's like the best PR guy in the business.
Yeah.
There's not even like a close second, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and he's great. So having just the right team behind the catalog, I mean, it's all about getting that music to new ears. Because
Hmm.
Warlord was never the biggest band in the '80s and beyond. It's a band that sort of percolated and grew in stature through at a time when there wasn't a Warlord, probably more than anything, in the '90s and the mid 2000s, and right up until like 2013 when the Holy Empire came out. It's been a band that's operated sort of in fits and
Yeah.
starts and big long pauses. hopefully no more pauses. And that's, but the catalog has never really had like a really good concentrated push apart from aside from what High Roller have done.
Mhm.
And now digitally, we're gonna make more of a thing about, because there's new fans coming in. There's so many young Warlord fans and new people discovering the band
Does that make you
that
happy? I'm gonna guess it does.
of course it does. I mean,
Yeah.
It's Bill's music, Bill Samus, and that's the whole purpose. I mean, from at least from where I'm coming from, is to get the more people that discover, Bill's songs and the music of Warlord and what Mark and Bill built all those years ago, and what continues to be honored and you know keep the fire burning, to use a well-worn metaphor. But
Yeah.
that's what we're doing, and the more people we can bring on board this Warlord thing, even if they're just checking out the first album or the second album or whatever, just it's great. The more people listening, the better.
Excellent. Now, when The Lost Archangel came out,
Yes.
last year, it's got live cuts with you on the mic. You were in
Mhm.
Greece. What were
Yeah.
what were those performances like for you?
Oh, man, we got to do a video soon, I think, of, like, sort of highlighting the whole Greek tour. That was amazing. Going to
Yeah.
Greece is always, always good. They're so into the band there, and that can be good and bad.
Oh, really?
Um, no,
Because they
it
have
can
high
be.
expectations?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's also, like, you can't fool the Greeks, it's gotta be good. It's gotta be good. I mean, they know what they like, and they'll tell you if they don't like it too. So, no, I love playing Greece, and I love Greece. I mean, I go there for holidays. I like to just go to Athens, and there's so many places that I'm probably missing because I don't know about them yet, but
Right.
the places I've visited have been amazing, and I would love to do more of it, over
I've
there.
never been. I would go for the food alone.
Right. I mean, the crowds and the fans are just the best part of it. I mean, it's like nothing else, and we had an amazing tour there. It was the first proper tour there
Mhm.
without Bill. Um, we did a festival the year before in Volos, and they looked after us very, very well. That was a great festival, and then we came back a year later and did a tour. Yeah, we did Athens, Thessaloniki, and we did the band's very first time in Cyprus too. And
Amazing.
wow, it was just great. I mean, it was
Amazing.
great. It was always a little bit of a like, okay, is Greece and the Greek fans going to be supportive of this after, because they loved Bill so much, and here we
Right,
are
right.
coming back without him, but very much in honor of him. So
Sure.
we did invite everyone to just join us honoring the music and
Yeah.
honoring Bill, and let's have a celebration of the music. And the fans over there like part of the band,
Yeah.
so they sing louder than the band plays. So let's all just have a great night. And we did. We had 3 great nights, and we'd love to go back. Obviously there's a limit on how many times you can keep going back. I mean,
Right.
I'd play there every Tuesday night if I could, but we'd like to go back maybe year after, not this year, but next year would be great,
Right, right, right.
to go back and do it again.
Excellent.
And we will go back anytime they want us.
And you've got just to cue everybody in, you've got one of the great prog and metal drummers of all time, at the kit, Mr. Mark
Yes,
Zonder.
Mark Zondo,
And
yes.
what's it like? I mean, you're in a couple of groups with him. We're gonna talk about that in a moment, but what's it like to collaborate with him? And what's it like just knowing that he's your timekeeper?
Well, I mean, Mark's co-founding member of Warlord,
Yeah.
and every bit a part of the Warlord sound as anyone else. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people miss is you take Mark's drums out of Warlord, it doesn't sound like Warlord.
Right.
Bill was obviously the songwriter, but I think when Bill made other very good music outside of Warlord, but when you put Mark's drums there, it sounds like Warlord, and
Right.
that's huge. That's not just like a guy going boom tap in the background. It's huge. It's an absolute union.
Yeah.
Bill and Mark with the sound of Warlord in those early days. So
The
so no,
man's
it's
like a
great. I mean,
scientist. He's
I like
fantastic.
yeah, I like working with Mark a lot. I mean, we don't have any issues at all. It's
Excellent.
we disagree occasionally on some things, but we just that very 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 rarely, and we just have a conversation. It's not
Yeah.
like one of those things where someone goes away and sulks for a month or whatever. It's like some bands. No, Mark's great. I like Mark a lot.
Excellent. And so the really special news that you've kicked off 2026 with is that, like, as everyone can see, but if they're not seeing it, you're going to be touring North America, and the first leg was announced. You're going to be touring alongside Onslaught. Is this co-headline or is it in support of Onslaught?
It's billed as a co-headline. They will be closing the evening,
Yeah.
and we will be on before them.
Yeah.
But it's billed as a co-headline.
And you're gonna do the entire Deliver Us set plus some classic songs, and that's gonna start in Houston, Texas, at Hell's Heroes, March 18th,
Mhm.
and then you're on almost every day until April 12th. You're gonna finish up at the Masquerade in Atlanta, Georgia. And are you stoked? Have you ever played the US before? You personally?
Yeah, I've toured there with Alcatrazz and all
Right.
that. Am I stoked? Yeah, I'm excited about the tour.
Yeah.
The booking agent is making this about as hard as it possibly could be at the moment. We definitely have a few challenges to overcome with him and them. But no, very much looking forward to the tour. We were
You
gonna
staying?
play we were gonna play Hell's Heroes last year. Sadly, it didn't work out due to a number of scheduling and logistical issues, but we are
Yeah.
going to be the plan is we're gonna be there this year,
Mhm.
and that's it's gonna be a great tour. I'm totally looking forward to it. The time on stage is amazing. It's just
Yeah.
obviously a lot of travel, obviously a lot of, prep work and getting ready for it is something that I wish could be a little bit easier sometimes, but the shows themselves are gonna be fantastic. I always look forward to that.
And how does Giles Lavery take care of himself on the road? How do you keep your
Sleep.
voice strong?
You just gotta no one understands this if you're not a singer. You've got to get sleep. You have to oversleep when you
Really?
can. Sometimes I'll go, on a day off, I'll stay in bed all day
That's
or
because
till like
you're not an interesting guy, so you just wanna stay in a room and go
yeah,
to
I got
sleep.
nothing going on. So I will sleep sometimes all afternoon or have a nap and, the people around me are like, "Well, you going to sleep again?" I'm like, "Hey, but they're forgetting that I've had 3 hours sleep a night
Right.
for 4 days before that. That will run your voice down. You've got to stay hydrated and you've gotta get a ton of sleep.
Yeah.
Because
And
otherwise your voice starts getting, you start losing, like, control of the notes and you start getting, that kind of ragged kinda sound, and you don't want that. So I do take that very, very seriously.
that's good because
That's how I
David.
that but to answer your question, that's how I look after myself. I try and sleep as much as when I can grab sleep, I grab it. Stay hydrated, try and eat healthy. You can't live on chips for a month.
Right.
At truck stops, you've gotta eat semi okay. You can't I'm not like a health food nut or whatever, but you can't be pounding the McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. I see guys on tour and, like, even guys that I've been in bands with, they're just pulling into the KFC every single day for lunch and the McDonald's, and
Yeah.
and then they're wondering why they're starting to get run down a week into
Right.
a tour. And I'm like, "You're eating shit, you're not sleeping, you're drinking 5 beers a night, it just does not work."
Yeah.
Not in advanced years, so
Yeah.
if you're 18 to sort of 25, 30, you can pretty much bounce back from anything. But, when you start hitting that, you know, get pushing 50 or 60, 70 plus club, you
Yeah.
gotta look after yourself on the road or, because the thing that a lot of people don't realize, if unless you're actually on a tour or in a band and you're doing it, one person gets sick can bring the whole tour down.
Oh, I could see that.
When
Definitely.
the tour bug starts going around, it can become a little scary.
Yeah.
Your singer gets sick and he's up there barking like a dog. The whole thing sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Or if or you gotta everyone's gotta be responsible and look after themselves. I've had tours where guys have gone out in, like, sub-zero temperatures partying all night. Guess what? 2 days later, they've got a runny nose and they're coughing in the van.
Right.
Next thing you know, everyone's caught their bug. Next thing you know, you've got a real issue.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And then it
everyone's got
affects your
everyone
performance, and then it affects your reputation, right?
everyone's gotta stay healthy, and you kinda have to watch each other sometimes and just say, "Hey, dude, like, you need to look after yourself." Because if you and drummer's always the first one to get sick. Not Mark, actually, but in
Mhm.
other bands I've been in, usually it's the drummer that gets sick first because They come off stage with sweaty clothes. They wander
Mm.
around out talking to fans. Which is great.
Yeah.
They go out in the cold. They're not, it's like the drummer's always the first one to get sick. Mark's not, actually. He's kind of like the exception to that. But a lot of the time it's like the drummer gets run down first, and then it just spreads across. 2 weeks in, everyone's hacking and coughing and sneezing and whatever. But so that's really long answer to your question. How do I look after myself? I've got
you have the occasional spinach smoothie just to keep you.
I got my vitamins
your
and
vitamins,
sleep, water. And I'll eat sushi and go to a restaurant instead of like pounding the KFC and the McDonald's,
Right.
And no alcohol at all, because it just
No
dries
alcohol.
you out. It'll trash your voice.
Yeah. David Reese has said pretty much everything that you've said, and I'm always fascinated by how everyone approaches it. Obviously, you're from the same school of thought there. And then, without giving anything away, and we can always do this later. If this tour is successful, are you going to do another leg in the U.S.? Or you're hoping to?
If I don't strangle the booking agent, there is a plan to do. Yeah, I mean, we're doing this sort of leans fairly heavily on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And there is a plan to come back and do East Coast.
Okay.
So that is the plan.
Okay, great. So we'll talk about that.
But you know what they say about plans, though. But no, that is what we want to do. Yes.
Right. Okay, great. And then, so I just wanted to also let's right here, Dragonsclaw.
Hey, there it is. Yes.
And so it's as if Warlord and Alcatrazz and Brave Words wasn't enough work for you. You've got another group. Mark's in this group, right? He does drums.
Well, Mark played drums on the album. Mark's not in the band. I just asked him to play drums on the record, and he was happy to do so. Jimmy Waldo plays keyboards. Who's also in Alcatrazz and in Warlord. So
there's
you tend to stick working with the people that you like, and and not just because you like them, because they're damn good and know what the hell they're doing. So, you don't. It's always like, well, why do I need to ask another keyboard player when Jimmy Waldo can deliver it and be there and do that? So Mark and Jimmy play drums and keys on the Dragonsclaw record. But Dragonsclaw is a sort of a union between myself and a guitar player called Ben Thomas, from Australia. That's the genesis of the band right there, and his brother Aaron Thomas on bass.
Yeah.
So this is an album that had been percolating for a number of years, and last Christmas I took 3 weeks off. I thought I need a break. 4 days in, I was totally bored, and I wrote to Ben, let's get this Dragonsclaw record finished, because we've been writing and recording it forever. Let's get this done. So Thomas Magler came in, and he was really he's a guy that I write songs with. He mixes and masters a number of projects I've been involved in. He's kind of my right-hand guy for that kind of stuff. He came in and pulled together kind of what was at that point about 10 years worth of writing and recording and something that we need to, a little bit like what Bruce Dickinson did the Mandrake project, and he's like, some of these sessions go back 12 years, writing and recording. So it was a little bit like that. It had been a record that had been worked on in periods, then stopped, then worked on it some more, then stopped. So Thomas was very, very instrumental in and pivotal, to use a number of wonderful descriptive terms for Thomas, in pulling all that together, and we finally have a new Dragonsclaw record.
Excellent. And it's a fun metal record. It easily could have been released in like the 80s, and with that vibe, but with obviously better, proper technology just to capture it all. It's something that I think also highlights I think Giles Lavery's sense of fun. No.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of musically, I'm very comfortable where that record is, which is sort of I've sort of described it to people as a bit of a halfway house between, like, if Judas Priest had a record between Defenders of the Faith and Turbo. Meaning that it's got the heaviness and the metal of, like, Defenders of the Faith, but there's also some there's some slight AOR leanings on the choruses. Perhaps some of the keyboards and some hooks and melodies that perhaps could have been, if we're talking in Judas Priest terms, a little in the middle there between Defenders and Turbo, or a little bit like Virgin Steel, Age of Consent, where they use the keyboards for great atmospheric and dramatic effect.
Right.
Probably a bit like that. So if you like traditional heavy metal with lots of melody and choruses with hooks, I would love it if you checked it out.
Yeah.
Dragonsclaw, Moving Target.
Yep.
And we have two previous albums that were probably a little bit more power metal based.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a lot more traditional heavy metal.
Yeah, the debut was Prophecy, and then there was Judgment Day, right?
That's right. And then a big gap, and now the new one, Moving Target. Yeah.
All right, excellent. And then let's also, because you're also very well known for fronting Alcatrazz.
Yes, amidst great controversy.
Yes,
yes.
but it's again, this album, Prior Convictions, you got a couple of new tracks, but then you do mostly re-recordings on this one, right?
This album is like a sort of a stopgap release. It's no less valid than any other release, but it is indeed something we wanted to have out for the tour. We've been asked a lot, do you have any versions of the classic Alcatrazz songs with you on vocals, meaning me? And or you could record them too if you want to. So because promoters will quite often like to do adverts for shows and little reels and 30-second things. And what we didn't want was a photo with a new lineup with an audio of the old band from the early 80s.
Right. You need something to back it up.
And they obviously want to showcase the hits and show people what the band is going to sound like if you come and see it. So that is why that and a number of other reasons. The partners at the label also suggested it. And just to have versions of the classic songs performed by the current lineup that's been together so long now. I mean, I'm kind of the new guy in a couple of years now, but Joe, Jimmy, Gary, Mark Bankachaya, and that's all kind of, since Alcatrazz got back together in 2019, that's more or less been the core of the band. Singers have come and gone, and then one singer went quite insane. But he had some help along the way there. But the core of it has always been Jimmy, Gary, and then Joe's been with the band for a very long time now.
Joe Stump.
Yeah, the guitar player. So just to have the classic Alcatrazz songs, presented by and sonically sounding like the last three records.
Right.
Was important, just to bring it all into kind of what's going on now. And again, also, so, if promoters and people like that want to do a promo reel for the show or whatever, and they don't have to use an old 80s version of a song with a photo of the current band that just doesn't match, or people are well, what the hell, why is Yngwie Malmsteen playing when it's Joe Stump in the photo, So there's a number of reasons why bands do re-recordings, and that's ours. So it turned out very well, and it's almost like a little newer, because a lot of our fans, I've found these days, are not so familiar with the band's past. They've come on board with more recent albums. So a lot of them have told me that, I've never really heard these songs before, so it's kind of like a new album. So that's been interesting as well.
That's fantastic. And as I look over here at all the former members, it's a big turnstile of talent over there.
It's funny how, obviously you said you weren't going to get into it, so I won't drag you into it, but the big controversy with the former vocalist and all that, it's someone said something really funny to me. They're like, Alcatrazz, it's been this sort of band that's always just kind of been there and, respected, and it's sort of unassuming kind of metal band is now just turned into the Jerry Springer show in recent years. It's with former members, whatever. But no, the current lineup is very, very happy.
Good.
Very productive, and we're working on a new studio album now, which is turning out just so good. So
excellent.
Very happy with that.
Terrific. And I'm glad it's going well for you, because you've got, we just named 3 groups off the top. What was the other one that you mentioned? You've got Warlord, Alcatrazz, and Dragonsclaw, and then you said there was one more.
Yeah, a project called Lavery Magler, which is me, Giles Lavery, and Thomas Magler, who's the guy I mentioned who mixed and mastered the Dragonsclaw record. He also did the Bangalore Choir record.
Yeah.
And you mixed and mastered that. He's helped us with done mixed and mastered and been a great help on some Warlord catalog as well. He's done a number of things, and I can't remember them all. Because he's just always, like I said, he's kind of my right-hand guy. But me and him had some songs in our respective histories and archives that we kind of wanted to re-present. Mm-hmm. And we also wrote some as well. And that's what's made the Lavery Magler album, which is out on Archie and Steel Records. I don't have a copy right next to me, or I'd hold it up. But
yeah, I think after we close out the interview, I'm gonna see if I don't think I ever got a.
Well, I can send you a link to it. I mean, you can actually. It's downloadable for free from Bandcamp. If you don't want to buy the CD, you can get it free from Bandcamp. It's no problem. Lavery Magler. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I see it here now. Oh wow, it just came out
recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? Why don't I wait until Bandcamp Friday in March so that you get the actual. I don't mind shelling out a few bucks to help my friend Giles.
You should download it for free.
You think I should download it for free? Okay.
Yeah, you should download it for free because then it doesn't cost you anything, and you get to listen to it now. That would be great. Yeah.
Then that is what I'll do, and I won't. And you don't have to bother sending me a link. I got it right here.
Cool.
So Giles, you've got so much happening in 2026 between tours. I'm gonna guess we know that there's gonna be new music at the very least from Alcatrazz.
Yes.
Without giving anything else away. Anything you want to tell the fans? Anybody who's a fan of Warlord, anybody who's a fan of Alcatrazz, Lavery Magler, anybody who's a fan of Dragonsclaw, the floor is yours. Anything you want to say to your people out there?
Gratitude. I mean, I've been involved in all facets of this business. I mean, I run a management company. I manage Girls' School and Raven and Onslaught, a number of different bands.
You manage Onslaught?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, that would explain the tour. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I've been doing that for a number of years. And then I decided to start singing again in 2023 when Warlord got back together, I thought. And then I wanted to finish the Dragonsclaw record, and one thing led to another. And I did the Jack Starr record too, Out of the Darkness.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Jack Starr, Out of the Darkness Part 2 came out last year. So I'm very grateful that I've had this opportunity since I've started singing again. All these opportunities have presented themselves. So to anyone who, whether they download the record, listen to it on Spotify, buy a CD, I'm very, very grateful for their ears, their time, and for listening, and for getting in touch and adding me on Facebook or whatever interaction that they that anyone shows towards anything I'm involved in or any music I make. You're very, very grateful because I never thought. Well, I grew up in New Zealand, which is about as, apart from Antarctica, it's about as low as bottom of the earth as you can get.
Right.
I never thought I'd get to do it. When I was a kid, I had never thought I'd get to do any of this. I dreamed to do this, and now I do. So I don't take any of it for granted for even 5 seconds. So I'm very, very grateful.
Terrific.
I love meeting the fans at shows. It's just. There's no downside to any of that, and if there is, you shouldn't be doing it. If you think there is, you shouldn't be doing it. Like I said, the travel and all that gets a little sometimes, but the actual music and the shows and the meeting friends, not just fans, friends, and getting to make music and having an opportunity to put it out there in the world, you never complain about that. That's only good stuff, and I'm very, very grateful for it.
Excellent. Well, you're leaving us on a wonderful attitude of gratitude. And
then you'll meet me in like 20 years, right? And I'll be like, don't talk to me. No pictures, please. No, I'm kidding.
Get the hell off my lawn.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
No. You don't seem that way at all to me.
No, I'm not. And I won't be.
And so our audience, especially our audience in North America and the US, is looking, especially if you're on the West Coast and a little bit on the Southeast. From March 12th to hold on, let me just back
March 18th to April 12th.
March 18th to May. Thank you. March 18th through April 12th. you get a chance to catch Warlord playing a proper tour for the first time in the U.S. and hopefully the first of several. And Giles, it's been such a pleasure to reconnect with you. I think you're great.
Likewise.
Keep doing what you're doing, my man.
I'll keep doing it as long as I can, man. All
right.
good. All right.
Thank
You take care. All right.
Special thanks again to my friend Giles Lavery for joining us here on Jace Media. So much to plug. We're going to start with Warlord. You are hearing a clip of Stygian Passage, which is a single off of their most recent release, Lost Archangel. That's available from High Roller Records, as is their prior album, Free Spirit Soar. It's fantastic. As we said, Warlord will co-headline the Force from Hell tour in North America with Onslaught. This is the first time that Warlord will play proper shows in North America and the US. The dates start March 18th in Houston at Texas's Hell's Heroes, and it will close out on April 12th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade. All the dates are on this interview show notes, and some might be on your screen right now. Check out Warlord on social as well. Reach out to Giles and Mark Zonder there. On to Giles' other group, Dragonsclaw. Also, their new album is Moving Target. It is available from High Roller Records. You heard a clip of one of the singles, Survival. It's a really fun rock and roll metal album, vintage style. I think you'll all love it. Also, be sure to check out Lavery Magler Redemption Day, which is free on Bandcamp. That's some fantastic power metal right there. And of course, we got to talk about Giles as the A&R man for Brave Words. He also has two fantastic, iconic groups that he fronts on Brave Words. Alcatrazz's newest album is called Prior Convictions, and you heard a clip of the brand new song Stand and Wait Your Turn during the interview. And as you heard, we can look forward to another Alcatrazz album on the way. And Jack Starr's newest album is Out of the Darkness Part 2. Giles sings on that one. That's also available through Brave Words. Now, whatever you do, always be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hard-working artists like Giles Lavery. He's the man, and I can't say enough great things about him. Folks, head on over to the revamped JaceMediaMusic.com page. We've got reviews, we've got interviews, we've got all kinds of great music coverage. Check out some of my recent video interviews with my all-time favorite metal singer John Bush of Armored Saint and Category 7, the drummer of Category 7 and Shadows Fall, Jason Bittner, guitar heroes like Herman Frank of Victory, and Soren Anderson, guitar player for Glenn Hughes. I've got a brand new interview with Meridian, a fantastic metal band out of Denmark, as well as Fate's Warning singer Ray Alder, Giles' good friend David Reese, best known as the singer of Bangalore Choir, and members of Temptress, Avatarium, Captain Blackbeard, and more. Special thanks, as always, to our fantastic founder and publisher, Glenn, and all of my Jace Media colleagues. And of course, special thanks to you, the worldwide Jace Media music audience. Look for Jace Media on Facebook and X and Instagram and basically every social media channel you can think of. I am Justin Smulison, proud Jace Media contributor from across the pond. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep coming back to JaceMediaMusic.com. I've got more video interviews on the way.